Hey, what's up, guys? Stephen Mage is here. We're about to bring on Jason Loxterkamp. He does just about everything under the sun. So it's going to be good to get to know him and see what he's all about and what he loves about Axcel Energy.
Hey,
What's up, man?
What's good, fellas? None much. Another day. Damn, everybody.
You there?
Yeah, let me hop off the gym's Wi-Fi real quick and just go on to 5G.
Oh, there you go.
Nice. How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
I'm excited.
Yeah, this should be cool.
Yeah.
We
This
just
is,
did his intro, so we're ready for whenever you are.
All right, man. So where are you from? What's your age? And what do you love to do?
Yeah, I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. My main sport is snowboarding. I'm 29 years old. A little bit aged in the sport, but still out here having a blast. My current residence is in Salt Lake City, but as of right now, I am in between houses, so that's why I'm sitting at the climbing gym and living in the van full time.
Heck yeah.
Nick. So you rock climb too, not just snowboard. So
Yeah, I would say half the year I'm a rock climber and half the year I'm a snowboarder. My friends and I joke that I'm a snowboarder that rock climbs, and a lot of my friends are climbers that board. So still maintaining that boarding first.
You got wakeboard skills, skateboard skills, slackline, just anything that moves, Jason does it.
That's the first thing that got me on to Jason. I was like, bro, he does just about everything. Like it's a show itself, you know.
He skis too. I've seen him do flips on skis.
Dude.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Like what were you doing? Like a triple? Were you doing a triple on snowboard or something?
Not yet. That's on the bucket list though.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Skiing. Holler if you want to see a backflip or a blind too. Those are my go-tos.
Yep. You did a cork 7. I saw a cork 7.
Oh, that's right. Dude, that was back in the day. That was when I was actually pretty bummed. That was when I competed against Jackson. He got 3rd place in Big Air and I took 4th.
Oh, I remember that. That's like right when Axcel was that.
No,
like
I was like 15 or 14 or 13. In that.
I saw when we picked Jackson up. I think you were at Perfect North. You're at that Big Air comp or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. A couple years
Those were
ago.
the good days. Yeah, definitely a few years ago.
It's awesome. Yeah. So what are your future goals with climbing and snowboarding?
Yeah, so every year I write down a series of goals, and I do it both for, honestly, with all the sports that I do, but primarily I have a trick list for snowboarding, and then do the same thing with climbing. I stay on Mountain Project, and I have a bunch of things that are on my to-do list, but for the most part, it's just keep pushing and having fun. That's goals number 1 and 2, but other than that is to keep chipping away at this list that I've been working on since I started snowboarding back in like 2004. And I guess this season, some of my biggest goals are to film a video part. One of my new roommates, he's a filmer, and we're going to try and put together a part with a series of things between street riding, park riding, and backcountry riding. So that's something I'm really excited for, to be able to put together a cohesive piece like we used to do when I was younger. So
it kind of brings up the question, what would be like a dream destination to like film that, or why?
Honestly, when it comes to dream destinations, it sounds funny, but Perfect North Slopes still has my heart. Every single time. Yeah. I'm seeing Jackson smiling. Every time I go back there, it's still one of my favorite places to ride, one of my favorite places to be. It hits that sentimental part so well.
Probably nostalgic, you know?
Oh, yeah.
There. Yeah.
Huge nostalgia coming from Perfect North. But other than that, honestly, Salt Lake City is kind of the dream destination for me. I visited here when I was a kid, and I've wanted to live here ever since, and finally pulled the trigger and made it happen. And it's been a blast, like having access to world-class snowboarding and then also world-class climbing, all in the different parts of the year. So if I'm gonna answer that question truly, the 2 spots that have been on my bucket list for years are to chase the snow in the summertime and make it down to either Australia or New Zealand. Both of those places.
Yeah. I've never been to either one. That would be sick.
Those are high up on my list. Nice.
You?
Filled a little bit, but
So what's your favorite thing about Axcel Energy? What caught your eye on that, and like, what do you think?
Dude, honestly, that's an easy question for me. So I'm a big proponent of bananas. I'm always caught with a banana on hand, especially when I'm on hill. So the fact that Axcel has a full banana's worth of potassium in it is honestly the top of the list for me. But other than that, I like how the ingredients are responsibly sourced. I like the organic caffeine. It tastes good. But then honestly, the biggest thing that has me interested in Axcel is you guys. Like being part of a team. Like I've probably told you so many times, Steven, how excited I am to be a part of this. Seeing your psyche behind everything, the motivation, the inspiration to do all this stuff. That's a huge part of why I want to be a part of it. And then the drink is just an added bonus to that as well.
Yeah, man. We appreciate that. Heck yeah, dude. We're pumped to have you on board for sure, man.
Thank you. Me too.
So what do you do in your off season?
Oh man. What off season?
Right. I was about to say, I don't think you have an off season.
No off season.
No, there's definitely not an off season. But like I was saying, it's like during the winter time, it's primarily snowboarding, and then try and supplement a little bit of climbing gym time to keep the fingers strong and the body in shape.
Yeah.
But in the summertime, it's almost less of an off season. It's almost less of an off season because I split my time between climbing, skating, backpacking, hiking, running, surfing, flips. I could go on and on. I've too many hobbies that I've been doing for too long that take up all my time.
That's so sick. And you're 29, you said?
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. Heck yeah. That's so
loving
cool.
it.
Heck yeah. So what do you do for work? Actually, this is a whole side question. What do you do for work if you live off the grid like that?
Yeah. So I am a full-time scientist.
No way.
Yeah. I've got a bachelor's in chemistry, and then I got my master's in forensic science. And I've been kind of jumping around labs for the past, since I've been out of Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
For a few years, I worked in a forensic science lab down a little bit south of me.
Mm-hmm.
But nowadays I'm working for a company that tests medical devices. So that's a huge part of it, is all of these other activities. I still have to balance a full-time 40-hour job of being in the lab and making sure my head's in the right place.
Yeah, right. Not human.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of, it's almost like as an entrepreneur, you have to be kind of self-disciplined. They'll be like, all right, play time and there's work time. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's cool, man. So what are 3 tricks you're wanting to learn for this year in snowboarding? What are the things that you're pushing for?
Double off.
So what was that?
Double off the rail.
Dude, that one in particular has been on my list for a long time, but there's 3 of them that definitely come to mind. The very top of that list is switch backside doubles. Mm-hmm. So I am 0-6 on that trick right now. I tried 5 times at Perfect North on the smallest possible jump that could be available. I think I broke 2 boards in a binding on that. And then the 6th time that I tried it was out here in Salt Lake City, and I ended up getting a punctured lung, and so I think I tore my labrum. So it's
damn, bro.
It's one of those tricks that I know I can do, but just have not put it to snow yet. So that's at the top of the list, is switch backside doubles.
Like a commitment thing, or you're still feeling out the spin, or what?
Back at Perfect North, it wasn't a commitment thing. It was just the size of the jump. And then the one try that I had out here in Salt Lake City, it was a whole series of things that went wrong. It was the first day after daylight savings time. I was super tired after work. I had some friends in town, so the vibes are high, but I wasn't quite feeling perfect, and they didn't really salt the jump. So I got kind of messed up on the takeoff, and sometimes that happens. So it was a one and done kind of thing. But then the other 2 on that list, I've been trying to chip away at most of the standard double corks for a while, and backside double corks are also on my list. But then the big one that I've been chasing for a few years, trying to work myself up to it, is triples. I'd really like to do either a triple underflip or a triple wildcat. And I feel like it's super attainable, but just got to keep chipping away.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have to have a bigger jump, or the ones that you're hitting right now, do you think it'll work? Just spin harder.
Yeah, definitely. This past season, I had aspirations to try it, but just sort of the season ran out and I had other tricks that I wanted to do. And the jump was big enough. I think it was like just about 70 feet from lip to knuckle. But it's definitely a scary trick. And I didn't have enough of it dialed on trampolines to really make me want to push for it. But I'm going to spend the time this year and hopefully it goes down.
That'd be gnarly, dude.
Copper always got jumps for Jason to do a triple.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I need to get to Copper for that pro line for sure.
Yep. Jump 3. You could do 4 jump 3.
Oh, yeah.
So how do you feel after taking an Axcel energy shot? What do you think? Like, what's the feeling, and when do you drink them?
So I can start with when I drink them. So I like to use caffeine as like a part of my process.
Mm-hmm.
I think it gets me into that headspace where sometimes adrenaline does that and you get ready to try things.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of skip that with caffeine. So genuinely, I feel because it's such a small shot and it does have all of the added things in it that help me out, I feel invigorated. And honestly, it's that little bit of extra that helps for doing a lot of things. I have 2 kind of good stories on like just after drinking an Axcel shot. One of them was last season climbing. I was in Wyoming at a place called 10 Sleep, and I ended up flashing my hardest grade. I flashed a 12A just after taking a shot. So
it was the extra motivation, dude. Did not give up. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. And then the same thing with snowboarding. Like this past season, I landed 5 different doubles that I haven't done before. And I think it was before I did double front flips. I needed that little extra kick because I was feeling nervous and little in my head. And I did what it takes to get me through it.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, that's the truth, man. There's times where I'll drink an Axcel just before like racing or something like that. And the amount of aggression on the track it brings for me is just like, people are like, dude, your aggression, blah, 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 and I'm just like, yeah, drink an Axcel right before you race.
Right. And the biggest thing is there's like, I mean, obviously I'm in action sports, so I've played the field on energy drinks, and there's quite a few of them that kind of give me the shakes. And that's one thing that I definitely don't get from Axcel is it keeps me focused and energized, but minus that whole quivering aspect.
Yeah, I have never like felt shakes or anything like that, like ever, which is weird. You know what I mean? As far as like energy drinks, people always think that, you know what I mean? And I wonder if it's the nootropics that are in it, because they take that as like a stress relief in there. And, I think the nootropics really play a big part in that jitters and then organics too. So they kind of break down a little bit easier. So,
yeah.
That's awesome, man. So if you could do one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Yeah, that's a tough one, given we've talked about I got a lot of activities, but as I get older, I'm kind of realizing that my body's not going to last forever. And a lot of these sports that I do are pretty high impact, especially snowboarding. It's kind of part of the process is to fall a bunch. So if I could pick one thing that I'd like to do for the rest of my life, it's got to be climbing.
Yeah.
I've been around so many people that are in their like 70s and 80s and still crushing, or even like 50s and 60s. So that's one thing that I'm holding and hoping that I can maintain for a long time.
So if you're climbing for the rest of your life, what grade are you going for? What's that grade that you're like, it's up there, you don't know if you're going to get it or not?
Right now it's 13s. 13s are like just
13s for sure. Guaranteed. Yeah.
It's still just at the cusp, but I'd like to be able to climb in the 11 and 12 range for as long as possible. I think that's an attainable goal. And I think that's going to be
13A in you for sure.
I'm hoping so. I'm starting to pull on to some as of lately, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. I think it just takes some just good focus. You know what I mean? Like climbing. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, that's kind of a goal for myself too, is my second year, coming up on my second year is Rocktoberfest. And I've kind of had a goal to do a 13,
Hell yeah.
For my second year, but
that's wild.
I want to hop on a 13 here soon. So I only have like a month to try it, but it'd be cool.
Yeah. The other one on that question, if I'm definitely going to try and snowboard until I'm
Can't.
like alarmingly old. And I would also really like to be able to flip, like still do
Yeah.
backflips into serious old age and just maintain that ability. So that's another huge goal of mine.
That'll keep you young, man. You know, that's just like with anything. As long as you're staying active and you're living the Jason Loxterkamp life, you're gonna stay young.
Tom
I'm
Wallace
hoping
said,
so.
Tom Wallace said he wants to do a dub 10 at age 40. So.
Dang. For Tom Walsh, that's an attainable goal for sure.
He's like 37 right now or something.
Yeah.
Like that. So he's not far from it, and he's still doing it. So
yeah.
Okay, this is probably a hard question for you, but what is something you are really bad at?
Oh, that's unfortunately, that's not a hard question for me. And the hardest part is balance. Like I said, I've got this full-time job as a scientist. I've got all these activities that I do. And then also like balancing all my like personal relationships. That has got to be the hardest part of being Jason.
Balance.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about like rail balance. Like,
yeah.
I was like, pretty good at that, but whatever.
Yeah. But just like life balance, since there's all these things that are pulling me from different directions and all this like inspiration on different sports, it's really hard to keep yourself organized and focused on one thing in order to keep consistent and keep progressing. So I'd say that's the thing that I'm the worst at is balancing all of this. But so far it's still working. But
yeah, it is tough because I mean I understand there because you know I think we all actually understand that Jackson does a little bit of everything too. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like, man, I want to be a really good climber, but oh wait, I gotta train for dirt bikes, or you know, you gotta snowboard a lot, you know. It's
that
sport wise. Sorry,
what? Okay. Sport wise, skateboarding. Dude, I don't understand it about skateboarding.
No, I'm not taking that as an answer either.
Dude, you should see me fall. It's like I'll fall like it's the first time I've ever been on a board. And I've lost all my flip tricks now because I started skating bigger boards so I could ride transition more. And I just wish I was better because there's so many snowboarders that are just phenomenal skateboarders. And it is such a hard sport for me because it's so like day-to-day specific.
Yeah. Do you like vert or street style?
Honestly, I've gone more towards transition, so more of the vert kind of stuff and riding pools and bowls and everything like that. But I'm still trying. I still like to skate some handrails. But dang, it's just one of those things that concrete hurts. Snow is forgiving, but concrete really hurts.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's one of those ones I feel like you want to learn young, so you take the hits young, and then you don't have to take the hits when you're older. I mean, just like anything, really. Like dirt bikes, you know, you don't want to wreck when you're old. That really hurts, you know.
I cannot imagine. That's a lot of weight.
Yeah. So what do you see in the future of Axcel Energy?
That's a good question. One thing that I think would be sick is like, since we are kind of a part of a team, it would be cool to have like meetups where it's like the Axcel Energy squad meets up and rides, since we do have
team shoots.
Exactly. Like there's people from, like for the most part, I follow everyone on the team on Instagram and I hit them up in DMs, and occasionally I'll see people about, but it'd be really cool to get all these people together because everybody's so good and you can take so much influence and motivation from the rest of them. And since we're all kind of under this one roof of Axcel Energy, it'd be really cool to have some of those. But
yeah, kind of reminds me of like Axcel Fest, how we kind of were all together there, you know?
Yeah.
We
the other part,
SoCal.
What was that?
We want to do one out in SoCal next spring.
Ooh, that sounds fantastic. Do some surfing and some skating.
Yeah. What if we did surf in the morning, skated? You guys can hop on a dirt bike at a dirt bike track and then snowboard or ski that night.
Dude, that would be unbelievable. 4-sport day.
Insane. That would just be insane.
I'd be super into that.
We've talked about it. Me and Jackson have a couple times.
Yeah, we've been saying it for like 2 years now.
Dude, what if we did it and it was an annual thing? You do like all those sports. I don't know exactly which, and we call it Axcel Day. Like you do all that, and you have to be in SoCal for it or whatever. And it's like the day before Axcel Fest. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
bro.
I mean, the other thing is we could add climbing into that too. Hop at a climbing gym, pull on some rock. I think we could add some things to it.
Yeah, like literally just, go like an hour, travel an hour, surf an hour, travel wherever, and like do an hour of each thing. And it's like a marathon of extreme sports.
Yeah.
3-6.
Axcel
Fueled,
Day.
fueled by Axcel.
Yeah, right. That'd be sick. That's a great idea, man.
Yeah. The other
Love
thing on that question is, I know I've talked to you about this, Stephen, but getting into the rest of the field with energy drinks, kind of going towards like some of the more nutrition stuff, like protein bars or even other drinks with different flavors and so on. But I think it'd be really cool to tap into that, since right now it's mainly the energy shot and some apparel. But
Yeah. So you're thinking like healthy energy drinks in the future.
Yeah, I think that'd be really cool.
Nice.
What advice would you give to young shredders all over the world?
Dang, that's a tough one, but
It's a good
I'd
one.
say that's definitely a great question. The main thing, so I feel like in our sports, like action sports, you kind of constantly deal with fear. And the biggest thing that I would recommend to people is to just lean into that fear, try something and go home happy, versus having that like regret, wishing you would have tried something, versus if you can try something and go home satisfied with yourself, that's so much better. And then further from that is to sort of just like stick with the things that you love. Like for me, I'm 29 years old and I'm still equally as excited about snowboarding as I was back in 2004 when I started doing it. So the process has a lot of ups and downs, but it's so worth it in the end.
Heck yeah.
And then I guess the last part on that is, as I've aged through like action sports, trying to figure out like sponsorships and all those kind of things. But at the end of the day, it's kind of just riding for your friends, like be involved in the community, ride for the dude next to you. And that's kind of the easiest way to constantly get joy out of these sports.
Who you surround yourself with.
Exactly. Yeah. Who you surround yourself with is huge.
Yeah, man.
Sweet. Well, that's all the questions.
Nice.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, no problem. Happy to do it. This is sick.
Yeah, man. Loved having you. It's love to hear everything you had to say, dude. That's sick.